Hi folks, welcome back to the channel. Thank you very much for joining me once again. You are always most welcome. Well, look at this. VE Day 80th anniversary, which is coming up as I film this. It's coming up in the next few days. Perfect timing. We had a bit of a problem last year when ICM's new Marauder came out and they had a D-Day special, but there was a bit of a delay, unfortunately. It did come out in July, unfortunately. This time they've nailed it absolutely bang on, and they've got it just in time for VA Day. So you can get this kit in the shops. I haven't actually double checked, but I think it's not very cheap. It's going to be about 75 to 80 pounds. But retailers here may well have it cheaper than that. I'm just quoting you what it should be. Now, two things about this. I'm going to have a look at it, but only in limited detail. The Marauder, we're very, very familiar with the Marauder. So I won't be opening the bags of the Marauder at all, because this fantastic set, and it's they don't call it a diorama set as such, but it kind of is, isn't it? It's almost like a victory fly past. Conquerors of Europe's Sky. Kit 48324. Fantastic. Now this is going to be in my Ukraine auction. This is one of the items I was keenly waiting for, and it'd be nice if I could do it on VE Day, but for practical reasons that might not be possible. But anyway, we'll see. But I think it's a very, very worthy kit to be included, and of course the auction itself is an extremely worthy cause. We've actually got two causes. I'm going to be going into more detail on that in the next few days. But basically, we've got an animal charity that looks after pets that have been displaced in the war, injured, lost their owners and things like that. Some horrible, heartbreaking stories there. And the main charity. So about 25% of the proceedings will go to the animal charity, and the 75% will go to the civilian charity, which is going to help children and displaced civilians with food, water, medical supplies, shelter, etc., etc. Things that are badly needed. And we've seen some of the horrors that's going on right now at the moment, even this week. There's a lot of civilians getting killed, injured, no fault of their own, completely innocent people. It's just crazy. The whole thing is mad. But we are going to do our best to... Sorry, I'm just looking up because there's a horrible hoverfly buzzing around in here. We're going to do our best to try and mitigate that and see if we, on my channel as a little community, if you will, many of you as possible, would please support me. I will make not a single penny out of this charity auction. I've got about 500 quid worth of kits that I'm giving up here, and this is literally just arrived. They're brand new, and some of these kits are completely unopened, or they've got major items that are completely unopened within them. Obviously with the YouTube channel I'm a bit obliged to show you some of these things to help ICM promote it. But in this case, this is probably the last time I'm going to do this where I don't open them all, but I just feel obliged to try and deliver it to you if you bid on it in the best possible condition, a new item. I mean, it's pretty much a new item when I've touched it anyway because of these, I get through so many of these gloves, I've just had to get more supplies of them actually because that's running low. But I want you to have a premium experience, but please remember this with the auction. Please don't think of it as buying a kit or see if you can get it cheap. This is not somebody's stash sell-off. Don't think of it like that. These are kits that were donated by the manufacturer. In most cases, not all of them. Some of them I've donated one or two of the kits myself that I've purchased, not the ICM one. But think of it as the manufacturers donated it, so that we could basically raise money and redirect that money straight back into Ukraine to a positive charity. But that we have in the meantime had the benefit of seeing it, on the channel, and everybody's been able to enjoy, have a good look. So everybody wins, ICM win because it promotes their product. I win because it promotes my channel. You win, you get to see the product for no cost to you. Until we get to the auction, and then the cost to you is great. No, it's not great. But the only thing to remember with the auction, of course, is that any post and packing will be on top and is just at cost. So it'll be via Royal Mail pretty much entirely. Something like this is probably a bit more. It's just probably about 8 to 9 quid, I think. Maybe more, maybe about the £10 mark. I mean, I always say this, and it's like eBay. You always find it's a bit more than you think, actually. But whatever it is, you'll see on the label what you've paid. If there's any confusion and you've overpaid, I'll just refund the difference. I will not make anything out of this at all from the postage or from the actual items. It's not about that. It's really about ICM have been generous. I'm being generous. Now, please, you be generous, and let's try and help these people who are in quite a dire state. Some of them, you know. Without further ado then, let's have a look at this incredible kit. So, this one is so well timed, it's absolutely fantastic, and it says on the side, this kit features the B-26C 45 Marauder bomber and 2 fighters, the Spitfire Mark XVI and the P-51D Mustang. Conquerors of the skies. It represents some of World War II's finest combat aircraft. Features precise geometry and proportions of the real aircraft, includes detailed cockpit equipment and fuselage details elements, 3 decal variants with European Theatre of Operations markings, and we've got a total in this box. We've got Marauder. Is it Marauder? Sorry, it wasn't anything else. It's me just my gloves rubbing on the box. What do you think it was? Marauder is 136 parts. It's not that many, is it, actually? I thought it was more than that. The Spitfire is 80 parts and... No, sorry, start again. It's the way they've written it, it's a little bit strange. 362 parts for the Marauder. That makes more sense. 136 parts for the Spitfire and 80 parts for the Mustang. So, now the Mustang and the Spitfire are older toolkits, so be aware of that. On the other side though, I notice I've got a slightly tiny dint in the corner. That's my favourite parcel force man again. Flipping it over because he couldn't get it to scan. Oh, don't get me started on him. If I give up, don't say it anymore, don't say it. Right, here you go, here's your Marauder. Which one's this? What is it called? I can't see. Looks like it's got Daffy Duck. I can't quite read the logo. Then we've got the Mustang P-51. And then finally we've got our Spitfire Mark XVI with the high tail. So without further ado, we'll have a look at this. Of course, as I said at the beginning, it's going in the auction. So I'm going to be especially careful with it. Probably won't be going into too much detail on the Marauder because that one we know very well now. Extremely well. You're going to have to bear with me because there's an absolute stack of tape on this. There's tons of it. By the way, all these items where I have opened it like I'm doing now will be retaped for you. You'll never know I've been in there. I'm like a ninja. You won't know I've been here. Stealthy I am. Very stealthy. That's why I cut it so carefully. It'll be as new. As new, but celebrity unboxing. You see, you should pay extra for that. Now I'm talking complete rubbish. Okay, come on. Get in here. Right. Oh, huge box, isn't it, really? What have we got then? Went the right way around. No, I haven't. It's this way. That takes me to open it away from myself, won't it? So, we've got a bag for the Mustang, which we'll have a look at. A bag for the Spitfire, which we'll have a look at. 2 bags for the Marauder, which we're not going to have a look at because we've seen it again and again and again, and it's amazing. And I'll put the Marauder reviews over there so you can have a look at that at your leisure, and that will stop us having one of these 3-hour, 2-hour videos, which I've become a bit famous for recently. And we've got 3 separate instructions. Sorry, I'm getting a bit crowded over here. Just bear with me a second. Let me just see if I can get some space here. Right, there we go. Right, Mustang, yes we need to see that. Spitfire, yes we need to see that. Marauder, less so. We'll have a quick look at the decals on the Marauder because I was a bit confused by that. And there was some interesting markings. Okay. Okay, let's have a look at this and make you laugh. So, you've got a selection of 3 markings actually. Well, that does impress me. So we will look at these markings properly. Thumper 2. So you've got Thumper from, is it from Dumbo? Can't remember my Walt Disney now. Thumper. But no, it's Bambi, isn't it? Bambi. Can't remember. It just shows how ignorant I am. My childhood was obviously spent watching war films. Anyway, it's a Walt Disney character. Thumper 2, Bunny Rabbit. And then we've got lots of bomb mission markings here. Some really nice decals. I'm glad to say we don't seem to have had any more of this major problems with the decals when in one of the kits. I think it was the Beaufort, wasn't it? It had a little bit of a glitch on it. And then we've got bell ringer here. Oh yes, that's nice. Nice lady. And then we've got stupid duck underneath. And then a little bit of Mickey Mouse. Look at that. That's cool. Oh, I'm spoiling you with this, putting this in the auction, aren't I? Oh, that duck, Donald Duck. He's dropping a bomb as well, look. Okay, there you go. So it's kind of all the usual thing with the rest of the markings, to be honest. But those are nice, aren't they? Some nice creativity going in there for some interesting nose art. So that's good. And we'll flip through to the back of it to look at those markings, because that's the one thing that makes it different. So this is Stupid Duck on the back, and it says this is based at Longuevic in France in April 1945, right at the end of the war. So hence the VE Day element of it. And then the other ones, we've got 441st Bombardment Group. This is the one that's got Thumper 2. Hard to see on there, you'll have to take my word for it. And then you've got so that's in the old silver style, metallic. And then you've got Bell Ringer with the hot lady, rather scantily clad. I'm not sure what she was doing, I don't even want to think about it. But anyway, that one's got the more traditional, with the kind of the olive sort of bronze green type, and then silver metallised underneath. Actually painted grey underneath, aren't they? Yeah, pale grey. There we go. So that is that's your Marauder, which we're just skipping through quickly. That is actually really nice markings. I didn't realise it said 3 markings. I thought they meant 3 aircraft, and there's just going to be 1 for each, but they haven't. They've gone the full hog. They've made the effort again, and they've done it really well. Now I want to remind everyone about the Marauder. One thing to just, its USP, if you remember, was, I don't know if it's visible here, the way first of all, the way that they, I'm not opening this as I've said, because I've seen it before, but look at the way they do this beautiful packaging now with a separate piece of foam in a separate bag within a bag for the clear parts. And that young man has been using his bamboo stick to make sure that the tool is super clean, gives you a super beautiful mould. Some of the nicest clear parts that are going. It's a fantastic kit. Phil Flory recently built his. I'm not sure he's actually completely finished it, but it's almost finished. And it looks fantastic, Phil, so well done, sir, as usual. And he's done it in all these metallic, he's got stain effects on it, it looks really nice. And even he enjoys, but he's enjoyed building it from what he was saying. So it's a lovely kit. My kit of the year last year. Still the reigning kit of the year champion this is. So you've got to bid on that, And now you're getting Spitfires and Mustangs thrown in as well. What's not to like, yeah? There it is, there's the rest of it. And again, you see how they've carefully added a couple of areas where they've put this extra foam in to protect things. Yeah, well, you don't get that in an Airfix kit, do you? Do you know what I mean? Just get it slopping around all over the place. Anyway. We've discussed that elsewhere. Right, so let's get into this. Now Mustang, we'll do Mustang first and then Spitfire, I think. So I'll put Spitfire to one side. Spitfire's got more parts for some reason, not entirely sure why. So what does it say here? So it says, Mustang was the legendary P-51 fighter, one of the best aircraft of World War II. North American Corporation developed the aircraft for the British Royal Air Force. People forget that it was designed for the Brits to have, yeah? And the fact that the Americans used it was kind of a secondary consequence. The British named it the Mustang. The US Air Force soon took interest on it, even though it first flew in October the 26th, 1940, just after the end of the Battle of Britain, in fact. Was that a week after or something? A couple of days after, in fact. And it says the P-51D variant, introduced in 1944, with the improved cockpit canopy and stronger weapons, became the definitive fighter of the war, the late war. Sorry, the P-51 Mustang played vital roles as both an escort fighter and fighter bomber across all theatres during the war's final years. It became the one to have, didn't it? You know, it shot a lot of German aircraft down and Japanese aircraft as well, and Italians. We'll come to that. So, usual stuff. Ferry range 3,350 kilometres, and then it gives all the. It doesn't. This is based on an earlier era of instruction, so it doesn't give a specific set of colours. It names them one by one. So here we have the markings, which I've got to say look really nice. They're really bright and pretty. These very striking. And you've got what looks like a. Is that a ridge runner? Is that a donkey, or what is that? Is it? My eyes are not good enough. Is that a warthog or a donkey ridge runner? I'm struggling to see at this range, if I'm honest. I haven't got the ideal glasses on. I'm going to have to know, so just bear with me a second. I need to see this. It's a warthog, isn't it? I can see his horns now. That's what I thought it was, but I wasn't absolutely sure. It looked a bit like a donkey from a distance. Shot down a lot of enemy aircraft here, look. Kill marks. Yeah, those are nice decals for sure. That's a good start. Then we have got what looks like, again, it's one of their fairly straightforward, simple early kits. Not a recent one, this. It's from about 20-25 years ago, I think. Building up your pilot, painting him up. Too close. Building up your pilot and then putting him in the seat. Building up the whole cockpit with the radio gear behind him. Instrumentation, etc. Bringing that in together with your radiator inlet. Top of your cowling. I shall like that. Oof. Reminds me of that Tamiya Mark 1 Spitfire. Putting your cowling on the top there. Bringing in all your wings and your tail planes, of course, here. A bit too close with the zoom. There we go. That's a bit better. Then you're going to build up your wheels and your gear legs and your gear covers. Oh, you got some flaps, landing flaps. That's good. You got your rear tail wheel door. Got some bombs or drop tanks, and then we've got the option of which ones you go for on here. Either or on your pylon, and then you're going to build up your four-bladed prop. Put your canopy on the frame, sliding frame on the Mustang, of course, on the hood, windscreen in, aerial in. That's it. Actually, very straightforward. Another fairly quick build. Another one that will suit beginners, I think. And it says here, this is the 4th fighter group, spring of '45. Doesn't say where, unfortunately. Probably in Germany by then, I would think. Western Germany, I suspect. And there you got rather a nice. Yeah, it's a nice colour scheme. I like it, actually. A nice one. So that's very good as a starting point. Instructions are very clear, very simple. I don't think this will be too much of a challenge to build, really, should it? And again, if you're a beginner or one of these people who's returning to the hobby in your more mature years, you'll probably find this is absolutely spot on for you. So let's have a look at the plastic then. Now I say this is all in the auction, so I'm going to be extremely careful and open this with some reverence. I like the fact they've banged up the clear parts separately. So we've got now remember we are looking at a slightly older tool here, so it's not quite up to their current standards probably. Oh, it doesn't look too bad. Of course what it builds like is another matter. What have we got? So, there we are. It's quite nice, to be honest. It's got nice detailing, looks kind of very proportionate and not overscaled or anything like that. All the rivets and panel lines look about right to me. Very nice, actually. A nice kit, actually. I'm certainly very impressed with that one so far. Then we've got the second one. and this has got there is just a notice on these early kits. This is a bit like when we had the MiG-29. Just a little bit of a propensity to have a little bit of sink here and there. Not dramatic, and again, it's exacerbated by it being in its raw, sort of polished plastic form. Nothing that would put me off the kit. I've got to say that the engine cowling looks really rather nice, doesn't it? Look at that. For the Merlin engine. And you've got your gear covers doors. And you've got your seat with your armour plate behind. This is pretty good, you know. This is actually better than I was expecting. Some of these marks here I think are just in the plastic itself. I don't think it's really on the surface. Yeah, so there is just a tiny little bit of sink. You can see it there, here. As it comes up to meet there. There's a little sink, isn't there? Very minor, but I say it's the same on the other side. I think it's just exacerbated, perhaps by the fact it's glossy. Doesn't help it. It's not dramatic, and I think when it's, well, I was going to say when it's painted up you won't notice it, but you might with this, of course, because it's going to be metallised probably, isn't it? Ooh. And now we're seeing a pilot. I'm not sure about the pilot. There's detail, but he looks a bit strange in terms of scale appearance. He looks a little bit wide to me. Not sure about him. What do you think? A little bit out of scale. It reminds me of an Airfix Gannet pilot, but maybe not quite as gloopy, you know. We've got our propeller blades, which actually seem quite nice. Don't think there's a problem there. Looks quite good. Some good detail on the wheels and the hubs. Intake there for the radiator. And you've actually got, so you've actually got two different types of propeller blade here. It's two different styles. There's the first style, which is kind of very thick and has the slight twist in it. And then there's the straighter one here, more of a paddle, more of a traditional one. Actually, I think I prefer that one actually. Then you got your exhaust stubs here. And a bit flashy here. You see that flash halo? Yes, that's a little bit flashy, showing its age a bit there. You got the bomb tails here. Not sure about those. And then you've got an alternative exhaust stub there. I think that's for the Allison engine though, isn't it? Am I right? Or am I wrong? One of them's an Allison one, one of them's a Merlin one, I think. Interesting. Or maybe it's just for an earlier version. Then, excuse me, we've got our tail wheel, all the details. You can see there's a bit of flashiness here that ICM don't suffer with today on their newer tools. They don't have any of this. A bit of flash creeping in here and there. Not really major, but you can see it, can't you? Just places like that. Just a little bit of its time, shall we say, 1990s, you know. There's that one, and then we've got the wings, which again there are hints of flash here and there. Just on that. What's the problem here? Come on, focus, darn you. Come back a bit. There we go. Yeah, there's just little hints of flash here and there and there. Nothing major. Nothing major. Oh, yes, it is major. Ah, it's major here. Can you see that? Have a look at this. This trailing edge where the flap is compared to that one. So that needs a bit of clean up actually. So yeah, it is a bit flashy, which is kind of what I was kind of expecting. They have a reputation that they used to be a bit flashy, ICM. We're talking good 20-25 years ago plus here. And you can see it again here, it's just a little fill-in flash. just the cleanliness of the tool and the sharpness of the tool. Obviously before they got these current gentlemen that do the work for them, who I hope are still there, because I know that a couple of them had to go off to the war, which is unfortunate, to put it mildly. And then finally, and I'm expecting the same sort of scenario here, we have got our clear parts. I mean, what I say about the flash, none of it's particularly difficult to clean up. There's none of it in supercritical areas or very difficult areas. Yeah. Here we go. Sorry about that. Here we go. Again, a little bit cloudy, a little bit distorted of its time. No man with his bamboo stick here. It's just an earlier tooling. It's okay. It's just clearly not a new 21st century bit of technology creating it, quite obviously. A little bit, yeah, some strange things going on there, I think. Can you see that? Not sure about that. It's like a flat spot. It's supposed to be there? Don't think so. Kind of what I was expecting, really, all round. I expected it to be flashy. I know that people have actually complained about the Spitfire. I'm not sure whether they meant this one, but a couple of people have grumbled in recent weeks on my channel about the old ICM Spitfires not being very easy to get together. But they're old, you know. Old Airfix kits don't get together very well either. Old Revell kits don't get together very well. New ones don't either. Anyway, yeah, it's a nice kit though. I mean, clearly that would be retailing at about well under £20 if it was in the shops on its own. But it does go together nicely, and to be honest, there's nothing there that even I couldn't handle very easily and quickly. So I suspect the more skilled amongst you would just laugh it off, really. Nothing that would deter you from it. There's no egregious, really extreme examples there. Bear with me. Bear with me. Sealed. Nice kit there, actually. Nice kit. So very good. That's the P-51 Mustang then. Stick that down. It is. Finally, the Spitfire. Mark 16 Spitfire. It says, one of the most famous British fighters of World War II, well ever, frankly, was the Spitfire, designed by Reginald J. Mitchell. Its first flight was on the 5th of March 1936, leading to serial production in various modifications. By October 1944, the Castle Bromwich factory producing the Mark 16 modification, Type 361, featuring the Merlin 266 engine made by the American Packard Company. The Mark 16 Spitfire entered combat in November 1944. Its first major operation was targeting Germany's V2 ballistic missile sites in the Netherlands and northern France. Sorry, that's me. Well, it's not northern France because that was already overrun. In the war's final months, these fighters primarily conducted ground attacks, while still engaging in aerial combat with German aircraft. The RAF produced 1,054 units in total and kept the fighter in service till 1946. Didn't keep it in service very long, did they? Think about it, 2 years. There's a shame. It's a nice one. The Mark 16 is one of the nicest Spits, really, I think. So, very good write-up. Thank you, ICM, for providing the kit. Thank you for the write-up. Now then, let's have a look at our decals. You might argue there's a little bit of excessive carrier film here, relatively speaking. Again, remember this is an older tool kit, same again. A little bit of excess. You might just want to trim here and there to reduce down the carrier film where the letters are. But the colours are beautiful, aren't they? Really nice and vibrant. Yeah, a minimal excessive carrier film. Yeah, no problem with that at all. Looking good. Okay. So let's have a look at it. This has actually got a lot more parts than the Mustang has got, interestingly. So, inside we've got sprue map, and then I think the reason for the excessive parts is we've got a proper Merlin engine. Are you watching this, Qatari? Eh? We actually get a Merlin engine in this, more than you can manage. I'm just joking, I'm totally kidding. Don't take it personally. It's true though, isn't it? Right, so we're building up our Merlin engine. Here you go then. You've got all your exhausts, you've got your cylinder heads, main engine block here, supercharger, etc, etc. Building it up, mounting it on your bulkhead with your engine bearers there. You've got your door, here, complete with the crowbar on the door. Don't forget to make sure that your crowbar is red. That's right, it's the law, folks. I always get told off because I painted mine red even though they weren't red in service, they're usually silver. Okay. After the war they painted them red. I just like mine to be red because it looks cool. I don't care. So I'm just kidding. Don't paint it red if you're going to do a wartime one, of which these pretty much were. Although I'm saying that, is there not a Battle of Britain Memorial flight? Come on, the experts amongst you. Isn't there a 16 in the Battle of Britain Memorial flight, or is that the one that sadly crashed with a fatality? I think there is a Mark 16. I think I saw it recently. Anyway, answers on a postcard, please. Then over here we have got our side walls for the cockpit with all your oxygen tanks going in, etc, etc. Levers and controls. Quite a detailed kit this is actually. Yes, this has got a lot more detail than the Mustang had, in fairness. I've got all your what's that? All the framework going in here for your Merlin engine, and you've got towels as well. So it's almost like the Tamiya one a little bit, isn't it? It's quite good. This explains all the extra parts. And again, we're building up all our internal cockpit, complete with the seat and the armour plate behind it, and then the main sort of bulkhead framework, and your instrument panel, dropping that in underneath, again very Tamiya-like. So I've got a feeling this is newer tool than the Mustang. Then we've got our clip. It's a clip ring Spitfire, of course, this 16 model, and it's got the bubble type canopy, very like a Mustang in fact. And then you're going to drop all those in, popping your top cowling on. You've got Hispano cannons, which they already built up. That's a little bit strange. It shows them in situ. I don't know if they're actually moulded in. We'll see that in a minute. It just shows the Hispano cannons already there, and then points to them. So I think it means you put them in. It doesn't make that little bit of kinetic creeping in there. Not quite that bad, perhaps, but you know what I mean. Oh no, sorry. It's just the way they've represented it. It does show it on the right, but it doesn't show it on the left. I was looking over here. You see, very confusing. Yeah, a bit strange, but that's not the way they do it now. Now they do one and then they repeat it and show the whole process again on the other side. That's what confused me. So you got Hispano cannon and the 303 machine gun going in side by side. So what did it have? 2 Hispano and 2 303s, is that right? That's right, isn't it? It's not that much firepower, is it really? You know? Anyway, that's that mystery solved, and then you're going to build up your main gear legs. You've got your bomb, central bomb I think it is on the wing. Well, it's either or, in fact. It looks like there's 3 bombs that you're going to carry. I think it's a £500 bomb and a £1,000 bomb underneath. So here you go. Doesn't actually tell us what it is, that's why my slight vagueness. Then building up your 4-bladed prop, putting on your radiators, and then assembling it all together here. So you've got your prop, your spinner coming in, bringing all your bombs on, putting on your ailerons, and then that's it. We have our Spitfire. And this was based at Drupp in Germany in 1945, April 45, so it's exactly 50 years ago. Sorry, 80 years ago, beg your pardon. No, I'm not old enough to be in the war, thank you. And then this one's back in England, it says, in the summer of 45. So this one's back in England. I like that scheme, actually. How do they differ? Yeah, I kind of like that one, I've got to be honest. It's a Polish squadron, isn't it? And there we are. That's your Spitfire. So let's have a look at the plastic then. There's things about that kit that make me think it's much newer tool than the Mustang is, because the Mustang does look pretty ancient. I have a feeling and a hope that there's going to be less flash. Let's see if I'm right, or if I'm being wildly optimistic. We'll find out, won't we? Right. Very gentle, because this is in the auction, I remind you. Let me open this. Okay. Well, we've got one of the cowlings off the sprue already. Never on the sprue, I suspect. So we'll start with the wings. Well, we have got a little bit of flash again. Nothing massive, not quite as bad as the Mustang, I don't think. But it is on the bottom of the wing fillet. Can you see this? Just beyond where my little finger is, if you look closely. Yeah, you can see it there, can't you? Yeah. A little bit of flash there, folks. Other than that, very nice. Can't see anything else wrong with it. Looks absolutely fine. Nice panelling, not trenchy, not overdone, quite finely done. Ailerons, no flash on them. Just that one bit of flash, isn't it? Actually, how strange. Just a hint of flash in the wheel bay well there. Okay, that's that one. I think it's just their tooling just wasn't as efficiently done or as clean in those days. Now you've got two different horizontal stabilisers, and I'm wondering why. Let's see, can I see any difference? I'm very bad at this. Spot the difference. Oh yes, I see. It's got two different ends. If you look very carefully at the end where it pivots here, pay attention to that angle versus that angle. Yeah. That's a bit more almost Messerschmitt like. Which is which then? That's the angle I'm more familiar with, like the early Spits, and that's more like a late Spit, I think, isn't it? Interesting. We've got a fuel tank. I mean, there's obviously different variants that you can have here, because you've got like a long range fuel tank there as well. You've got the blisters for your cannons and your machine guns. And again, there's obviously more than one variant. You've got different tails as well here. You've got the standard early version tail from an earlier Spit, or here from the Mark 16 high tail. And then we've got the tropical style intake there on the chin. So there's definitely a crossover. And then you've got some rockets as well, underwing rockets. It's obviously like a generic Spitfire sprue they've got. And then over here, well, it proves the point, they've got like a high altitude photo reconnaissance type Spitfire here with the big pointy wingtips. So that's another option you could have. Actually, you can get quite a lot out of this kit. There's more. This is explaining why there's so many more parts. There's your 303 Browning machine gun, which looks pretty cool, to be honest. It's quite nice, isn't it? And the bombs. The bomb tails. Equally, you've got different options on your wingtips. Well, it's supposed to be a clip wing Spitfire, the Mark 16, which would be using those there. Or you can mess about and you can probably have a Mark 9 stroke Mark, goodness knows what. I forget the name of the Mark, the one that's the high altitude one with the pointy wings. Any experts? Is that the Mark 14? Can't remember. And then you get your radiators here, which look fairly standard, and the radiator sort of intake grill there as well. And then here we go with the actual sorry, there's something striking me about this. It just looks wrong to my eye. I could be wrong here, but the fuselage looks too long, and the shape isn't quite right either. Well, I'm saying that, of course I'm forgetting this is maybe I'm wrong, because it's a straight one, because it's got the hood canopy, hasn't it? And I'm not taking that into. I'm thinking of an earlier model Spitfire, so perhaps I'm wrong. It just looks very different, the actual profile, doesn't it? When you see it, it's very flat, straight top angle of the tail instead of it angling up slightly. There's no fluting at all, it's just a straight top of the fuselage. There's plenty of details here. Your control stick there, your rudder pedals down here, and your wheels. A little bit of flash creeping in again if you look very carefully. You got your instrumentation, instrument panel, bulkhead. You've got the main bulkhead, front bulkhead to the engine compartment here. Cockpit floor here. And you got your rear bulkhead framework. You'd have to drill those out to make it look really realistic, I think. And then we've got the Hispano cannons. Look how long they are, huge, and ammunition drum feeders. And then you've got the actual barrel sort of fairings here, aerodynamic fairings when it comes out of the wing. And of course we've got our gear legs over here and gear bay doors. The top here of your armour plating behind the pilot's head. Very nice actually, it's alright, it's alright. Flash, well, minimal really, for being fair. This one's just a bit off the sprue, you see that? It's a little bit off the sprue there. It's growing on me though, this kit. It's got a lot of detail. This is the one that's got all the engine on it. It's got a lot of detail, it's got a lot of flash on this. Look at this spinner here, wow, that's very flashy. And is that the one you need as well? I think it is. I think it will be. Just looking through the other parts to check. Yeah, it is the spinner that you need. So that needs a bit of clean up, doesn't it? Wow, that's like Airfix or Frog from the 70s, that is. Look at that. Ouch. And then we've got our four-bladed propellers. Again, just a touch of flash on the tips on a couple of them. And then we've got our exhausts, the Merlin, your engine bearers here. And obviously you got your Merlin cylinder head covers for your Merlins here, Merlin engine. Supercharger. It's all there, isn't it? It's all there. It's quite nice. It's a little bit oddly, sort of slightly softly moulded in places around those engine covers, I'd say. 48 scale. But overall, I think the panelling and the details of the panel lines and the riveting, really good actually. Very, very nice. Still not sure about the shape though. It still looks wrong. It looks overly long, that tail does to me. Even taken into account. It looks like it's been stretched. But that just could be my lack of knowledge. So any of you that are Mark 16 experts should share some. Because that just looks slightly odd to my eye. It's actually a decent kit though, just apart from the flash, really. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to give them marks out of 10 each one, separately, as if they were 3 separate kits. Because I think that's kind of fairer than to bring one down because of the other. And before we go, we've got to have a look at this, the clear parts, which makes me a little bit nervous. Oh, by the way, there's the, where's the other one, by the way? I only have one cowl coming off. Thinking about where are the other cowls? I've missed them. Oh, it's there. Yeah, it's there. It's because I skipped over a bit talking about wingtips. I didn't pay attention. Just go back to this. So there's your top of your engine cowling, and then you've got the starboard side cowl as well. Well, they've done that nicely, haven't they? If you remember, this is where I got very cross with Tamiya, because bizarrely they'd split it there for no reason I could see. And then there's your port side cowl. Very good. Right, finally then, that just leaves us to examine the clear parts, of which I have quite low expectations, to be fair, you know. What's the best way of doing this? That's the way I think. Okay. Last but not least, it probably will be least, is the clear parts. It's just an older kit, isn't it? It's an earlier generation. It's like looking back at an Airfix Classic. Yeah. Just putting Classic on the box doesn't give it a free pass, I'm afraid. Same here, really. Oh, actually, it's not as bad as I thought. Yeah, it's just kind of what I was expecting, really. It's not worse. It's just quite distorted because it's a tricky hood design and fair bit of distortion, but the clarity seems better than the Mustang's was, actually. I think it looks a bit sharper and brighter than the Mustang one was. What do you think? A tiny bit of flash there as well, you can see here. So flash is a theme, isn't it, in these days, obviously. Yeah, a bit of distortion, as you can see. But actually, I think slightly better than the Mustang. So, I am going to say the following. I think I've got it in my head, which way this should go. I am going to say, first of all, the Mustang. I'm going to give it, I mean, there was flash in places that was, none of it was in a really bad place. It was the worst place on the Spit, actually. Although the flash didn't seem quite as extreme this year. Or was it? I think the Mustang, is an 8.5 out of 10. 8.5 out of 10. And I think the Spitfire, in fairness, probably 8.75. It's nice and it's clean in terms of the quality of the... I'll tell you what there is there. Hang on a second. There's a bit of warpage, and I hadn't noticed this. I don't know if you can tell this now. I put it in the bag. The fuselage on the Spitfire is a bit warped, not terminally or anything, but it is unusually warped out. Can you see there how the front is warping out? So I think actually, the thing is with the Spitfire though, you do get an engine and some good detail which you don't get in the Mustang. So I think I'm going to give the Spitfire, I think I have to give it more. That warpage I think is just on the one part. I don't think the other one suffered from it. And it's not a problem. It's going to go together, no problem. It's critical. I think I'm going to give it the same actually. I want to give it 9, but 9 sounds a bit generous. I think I'm going to revise my start again. I'm going to give the Mustang 8.5. I'm going to give this 8.75 because you do get a lot more in your kit, a lot more detail with your Spitfire Merlin engine. I think it deserves slightly more than the Mustang because there's more in the bag. Okay, so I think that's fair. I think 8.5 for the Mustang and 8.75 for that. Reasonable? I think so. So there you have it. A couple of oldies but goodies, just a bit flashy. But this is what we come to expect from kits of that age, I'm afraid. It is the nature of the beast, and as I say, you know, any of you Airfix enthusiasts that are all shaking your head and tutting, you know, you've only got to look at an Airfix Classic to see that I'm right, because they ain't no angels either, and it's just the way things were then, you know. It's just the nature of the beast. So, I've given two fairly... It just wants to fall out, doesn't it? What is happening there? I've given two fairly average ratings there. Lowish ratings, relatively speaking, for those two older kits. So therefore... Oh, did you just get in there? Yes, we're all safe and sound now. That's it, everything's in as it should be. That's better. Trying to make it stay in a nice, sensible way. All done. A bit resistant to going back. It's like it found freedom and didn't want to relinquish it very much. Yeah, the box doesn't want to work either. Come on. There we go. That's it. Right, so finish what I was saying. 8.5 out of 10. 8.75 out of 10. The Marauder, 10 out of 10 because it's flawless, literally pretty much flawless, the Marauder is. Deserves a 10. So overall it's kind of hard when you get these combo sets to give a rating for the whole set. It becomes less meaningful. So I think it's best to name them as separate kits and give them, then you understand the differences and what you're getting. So there we go. So I didn't open the Marauder as you saw, it's completely sealed. Fairly gently open these two, but what with the flash and bits off the sprue and things, that's kind of par for the course. No harm was done to these kits, obviously they're still pristine, as they were when they arrived with me. So I hope you thought that was interesting. Hope you'll give me a 10 out of 10 with a thumbs up, give us a like, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And the most important thing of all is please join us for the ICM Ukraine, because it's mainly ICM in fairness, but there are other kits as well. There's going to be there's a mini art kit, there's going to be a couple of Litaki kits, also from the Ukraine. Mini Art are a Ukraine company, but they've now actually relocated to Poland, and I can't say I blame them. I'm going to include them as well. We've got the Thunderbolt from Mini Art, which is a really nice kit actually, I've got to say, a really excellent kit. So that's going to be included as well. And as I said, there's about 22 kits in total, or 22 items. Some of those will be lumped together, so there's probably something like 17 different lots. And some I'm presenting as a kind of a set. But this will be an auction to raise money for civilians and for animals in Ukraine affected by the conflict. A very worthy charity indeed, but two charities in fact. Two very good, worthy causes, and I hope you'll give us your support. So please generously support us, and we'll try and get some funds off to people who desperately need the help, you know, food, medical supplies, veterinary help for the animals, etc. That's what we're trying to do our bit. Thank you very much for watching the video. I hope you found it entertaining. Until next time, I'll be coming up, probably next time you see me, I'll be popping up very soon with details of this auction. I'll do some photographs so you can see every item that's included, and I'll probably list them. I'll explain that a couple of the small items will be lumped in with appropriate kits, for example Monty's Caravan and Monty's Caravan paint set, things like that. But it'll all be explained in due course. All will be clear, you'll know what you're bidding on, and I'll start off the auction with a starting price, because I don't want to say, you know, just start with no reserve, because I don't want this to turn into one of those auctions where it doesn't really make any money, and that's not, defeats the object really. I mean, I'd rather keep them for another rainy day and do another auction or something later, rather than just, you know, go to all this trouble and not generate any revenue for those charities, because that's the whole point of it really. As Bob Geldof said, give us the money. And what else did he say? He said, we're not doing this for my health, I'm doing this for other people's health. Yeah. Literally. Same applies here. Anyway, once this auction is over, I'm probably going to go very quiet and go lie down in a darkened room. I still haven't decided how it's going to operate yet, whether I'm going to do it live. I might do it live actually via StreamYard. It's possible. I have the technology. It's just hard to do that when there's only one of you. Maybe I could talk to Jason or something like that. Maybe invite him in just to help me out. I don't know, but I don't want to jump the gun and start volunteering people on camera. I'll think about it. I'd like to do it live. It'd be cool live to make it real time. It's very difficult to do it on your own, I think. So I'll have to just have a think whether we do a recorded show and then we bid live in the chat. That's one option, or we do an actual full-blown live show. But that could be challenging. I think the way that in time scale, I think it's probably not going to be the first week in May. I think it's probably going to be the second Saturday in May. I think that's the way it's looking. But stay tuned. I'll give you lots of updates coming soon. In the meantime, thank you for watching very much indeed. Hope you thought it was interesting and enjoyable to see that. The VE Day 80th anniversary celebrations, well timed by ICM. Thank you to them for providing the kits. Thank you to you for watching, and until next time, stay well, stay safe. Thanks a lot, and bye for now.